The opinions expressed are those of the host. The material is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute investment advice, and it is not intended as an endorsement for any specific investment. Visit CrestmontPW.com for more details.
Welcome to the Ascent. This is Sam McGee with Crestmont Private Wealth. We have an office in Houston, Texas, and in Boerne, Texas, 604 South Main Street and One Riverway in Houston, Texas. And you can find us on the web at CrestmontPW.com. Today we're talking about a really interesting subject. It is college visits and college preparedness for your loved one. If you're listening to this and let's say you've got young kids, it's not even in your eyeball at this point. Yeah, I mean, this is so far away. Hopefully you're saving towards college with a 529 plan. And if you're not, reach out to us and you can learn more about that at info@CrestmontPW.com. Today, we're really talking about college visits and just preparedness. Things for parents, really, because I'm going through college visits right now and I'm learning a lot. So I've got a junior at Boerne High School, and we just did a visit over to A&M. Got to see A&M beat Mississippi State, which was fantastic. Night game, amazing. And we did an official college visit. Well, a lot that I did not know has changed. So 30 years ago, when I applied to colleges, it was real simple. You took the SAT, you took the ACT, you hopefully had good grades, you had a class rank, and you filled out an application, you sent it in, and you waited to get something in the mail, and it was either a rejection letter or it was a acceptance letter. Nowadays, totally different. Incredibly different. And there's even businesses out there that focus on this, that consult parents on ways to go about college applications, preparing for those. Some colleges have interviews. But I'm going to talk about the college visit experience. First of all, it is a lot of fun, okay? So, yes, we had a ton of fun going to A&M last weekend, getting to see my Aggies beat up on the Bulldogs. But also, it was just really a fun experience to go through the vantage point of, hey, what is it going to be like for your kid, future young adult, to go off to college? And things you've got to think about. So, as an example, housing is very different at different schools. And some have early deadlines for applying for housing that are before you're even accepted to the university. So as an example, when we were at A&M, I saw that the housing deadline for preference was, if I remember this correctly, it was December of my daughter's senior year in high school. Yeah, and so if you think about that, you're dropping a deposit down before you may even hear if you're accepted, right? So that's how competitive it is for housing at some universities. So just pay close attention to the dates and look up the dates and the process for housing, because if you want your child, your grandchild, or yourself, if you're listening to this, to get on campus your first year, it's not as simple as it used to be where you apply and you just automatically get housing. It's a whole separate process. For me, it's just been one of those really neat, unexpected experiences. I thought that the college application process and the college touring process was going to be kind of like a laborious, kind of mechanical, honestly kind of boring process. But it's almost like going back in time and getting to see campuses through the vantage point of not having to go there and actually do the work and do grades and all those things. So it's been really fun. But anyway, so let's get back to center here. So on college tours, I think there's a misconception out there that you wait until the fall of your senior year to do this. I would highly recommend you start doing tours with your child starting the fall semester of their junior year in high school. Now, why is that? The reason is because if you wait until fall of your senior year, well, what if you get there and they don't like any of the schools you visit. Now you're in a time crunch of, oh my gosh, now we got to go and, go out of state or stay in state or go to community college or do a bridge program. You really want to start that process the junior year and starting to get familiar with different schools, different atmospheres, different towns, different cultures, different majors, different schools that they would apply to within the school. Using A&M as an example, I mean, it's just so big and there's so many different schools within the school. It's a whole different experience for a student to go check out, whether you want to be a vet or you're in the business school or go general studies. I promise this is not about Texas A&M, even though I'm an Aggie. There are other schools we're going to go visit. And actually over fall break, as we're recording this coming weekend, we're going to be out of town visiting some schools in Tennessee and small schools, big schools. Going to go check out Auburn, a few other ones. And so I'll probably have a different vantage point when I get back. But over the last 26 years of my career, I've been able to listen to clients that have gone through this process. We've guided them financially and we've guided them for preparation for college financially. But what I like sharing is the real life experience of what is kind of going through my head right now as a parent and thinking through from the perspective of an advisor to my child, as well as the listeners that are out there listening to this. What are some things, some takes that we're gathering right now? Number one is start early. Junior year, start looking. And go look at the community college. I will say that's a great option as well. Look at technical schools. If your child wants to go to a technical school, we had a podcast with Dorman Vic not too long ago about that. Check it all out. And the reason for that is it's not going to hurt. I mean, for one, they get to see what they don't know. They may see things they don't want to do and places they don't want to go. It's kind of like dating, right? Just play the field a little bit, see what you like, and then zero in on it, all right? So that's my advice. In terms of things to be thinking about, let's say you have a kid in college right now or a grandkid in college, and they're coming back home over the winter break or the fall break or summer break. This could be aired at any time on our podcast at iHeart or Spotify or the Google Podcasts. Here's some things to be thinking about. Absolutely, positively, make sure that they have a HIPAA authorization and a medical power of attorney before they go to college. Why? Well, what if something happens, God forbid, because things happen every semester where unfortunately kids get into medical emergencies on campuses. You want your child to have a HIPAA authorization and a medical power of attorney. That's because if they're incapacitated or they're not in the right frame of mind to make a medical decision, that they can get a contact to the healthcare provider to make sure that records can go from point A to point B and someone can speak with a healthcare provider in an emergency. You know, I had that situation my freshman year. I won't talk specifics about it, but my very first semester in college, I had to have an emergency surgery, and it was scary. And my parents were in Houston, and, you know, thankfully I was coherent, but it was kind of a, hey, there's no option here. Sign here, sign here, sign here. You're going under the knife in Bryan, Texas. There wasn't, which hospital do you want to go to? You know, let's check out the doctors. Let's make sure they're good. It was let's go time. And so that does happen. I can speak to that very personally. Make sure that your adult kids in college have a HIPAA authorization and a medical power of attorney. And if you're wondering, how do I get that thing, right? We have plenty of attorneys that we refer out to. And if you want to reach out to us to get some names, email us at info@crestmontpw.com. We have several in Houston, several in Boerne, San Antonio, Dallas, you name it. If you need this, we'll get you in contact with a good attorney. And for clients that are fee-paying clients of ours, we actually have a service that goes through an estate plan along with all these other authorizations that's included in the service. So keep that in mind. If you're a wealthy family, let us know if we can help you. The other thing to be thinking about as you do these college tours and as you're looking at where your kid wants to go is think about setting up a banking relationship locally in that town. It's one thing to keep that tried and true bank account that you've always had and open up a custodial account locally, but how is that really going to help your kid? You want them to engage with the banker, go in, take care of their balances, have somebody local that they can get to. Make sure you set that up and make sure that you've got a good setup financially for them when they go, including a credit card in their name that's going to be paid on time. We've talked about that in other podcasts as well. So back to the college tours. Another thing to be thinking about as you navigate that, in-state, out-of-state, you're going to be surprised at the differences, in tuition between in-state and out-of-state. That's no big surprise. But also some of the colleges now that will come to the table and provide financial support for your out-of-state kid, and you would be shocked at how much is available out there, not just bordering states. So we've all heard about probably some of the states and the public institutions like Arkansas and LSU that will do, matching in-state tuition for Texas residents in some cases. But there's also other private schools as well as public schools that are further away that are getting really creative to attract great students from out of state. They want a diverse student body. They want your kid to come to college. And I think they found us because we're getting all these things in the mail now from all over the country. And, my daughter feels like a rock star. And I keep reminding her that, you pay to go to college. So, yeah, there's that. Now, the other thing to be thinking about is that transition for you parents. As you get into that junior, senior year, and they're going to be out of the nest and they're going to be off doing things, letting go of that vine a little bit. It's a good time to do it in a safe setting on a college tour. Make sure that you're allowing them a little freedom to go explore independently on their own, and maybe pull away if you're a bit of a helicopter parent or a lawnmower parent, pull back a little bit, let them kind of lead with some guidance from you to see what they think, so they can walk away with an impression that they've kind of forged on their own. And that's difficult, I will say. You raise them and they get older, and then you got to kind of let go of the vine a little bit. But college tours, the big point of this show is if you are a parent and you have kids that are under the age of 18, do take college tours and make sure you can do that junior year to give them as much chance to see what's out there, what they like and don't like as they approach that time to make application. And so I think you'll find it to be a really fun family experience as well. At least for us, it's been great so far. Anyway, I hope this has been useful to some of you. Just prepare, not just financially for college, but also make sure you get a head start, because there's one resource that we all have that we can't store, and it's time. So make sure you're taking the time as a family, junior year and above, to go and visit colleges, visit technical schools, community colleges, and get a full breadth as to what's available. You owe it to yourself to see that and make it a family experience. I hope this has been useful to you. And if you're interested in learning more about Crestmont Private Wealth, we are a wealth advisor to high net worth families, typically work with families with $1 million in liquidity and up, and they value full holistic financial planning and wealth management. You can find us on the web at crestmontpw.com or email me directly at sam@crestmontpw.com. Have a great weekend and God bless.